what's up everyone? Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye here, and I'm going to do a gear review of something that can really help your photography and your videography. What is it? Well, it's as simple as a little bit of a twist and a push. Let's go. So if you haven't already guessed, I am reviewing, and I already kind of did some projects with this that I can't really show yet. I'll do that in a future video, but I'm reviewing the Kamerar. It's Kamerar SL-23 camera slider Mark II. This is the 23-inch version. I think they make like a 45 or 47-inch or something like that. All the links and descriptions to everything will be down in the description, so that way you can check this out on on the website by PixelAddix. And this is 145 bucks. This was sent out to me so I could review and just to give my thoughts on it. So basically this comes almost set up in box. The only thing you have to do is essentially mount with this little Allen wrench. The legs right here at the bottom, I'll show you that in a close-up real quick, just of like what you do. But besides that, that took what, less than 2 or 3 minutes to do each side, and then I was ready to go. Essentially, once again, you don't have to mount the slider, you don't have to screw in anything, you are all set, and it's great. The cool thing is it comes with different adapter. You get a bigger adapter if you're using maybe a different kind of plate or something like that, but then you get your normal 1/4 inch directly on this right here. So maybe if you don't have some kind of Arca Swiss or some kind of mount, you can directly mount a camera on this slider, and it works instantly and amazingly. Pretty simple. So really what you see is what you get. The one thing I do recommend looking into this before I kind of break this down is getting a level, so that way you know your level. This is just a quick little bubble level. It's under $2, and you just kind of throw it on top to see if it's level. If it's not, you know to go in and adjust these little legs to fine tune it, just like a tripod or something that you're trying to level. So something of that sort. So a bubble level or something is pretty key for something like that, and they're not that expensive. So my first reactions to opening this was like, holy hell, this thing was built really, really well, and it's lightweight. It's extremely lightweight. You could break it down if you want, and it'll fit into maybe even a backpack, or a little bit of a larger backpack, or like a small duffel bag with no issues whatsoever. So this is great for your video, your photography side of things. If you want to do time lapse with photography, if you're photography wise, just make little marks and just kind of go through a little bit, and you can get that movement you want in regards to that time lapse. And video, once again, it's just that fluid movement that you can get to create a little more intrigue in a scene. So as I said, this is 145 bucks. You call this a slider or a dolly. Not so much a dolly. They usually have wheels, and they're bigger. And it has a balancing weight connector, which I'll show you in a close-up right here. It's essentially this spinning wheel at the end right here. And what it does is you can create your own little rope pulley and connect it to one of the top screws right here. And you can kind of lean this up and have your own mini jib. As you're pulling up, you could pull this up as well and create your own mini jib. So I thought that was super creative. So I reached out and made sure that, this didn't come with a certain kind of rope or anything like that. You just DIY and do it your own. String is very, very cheap. Just be careful, but they do have stop gaps at the end of these things. So if this thing slides, it'll stop, and it pretty much comes to a stop in a nice, even halt. It's nothing really jarring or anything. It's got some nice little rubber. I don't know if that's rubber, but it's got a nice little stop end on something like that. And once again, you can adjust the height. It's not just one thing. You just go by screwing these, and you can go up and down. As I said, it does have the Arca Swiss support, but on the bottom, you can mount this to tripods. You can mount this to certain things because it has the mounts and the levels right here. So it's pretty cool. So you don't necessarily have to have like 2 stands or something, or a table, which obviously is much easier. You can actually mount this to a freaking tripod, and that is pretty awesome, especially it's for under $200. You can't beat that. 4 ball bearing rollers with a lock stop brake, which is this thing right here. So if you're going along, it kind of almost stops instantly. It's tight, it's extremely, extremely reliable. This is 23 inches in length, and it has about 6.5 in height and 3.5 inches from the bottom bar to whatever surface that you're using. If you're on a tripod, that necessarily doesn't matter, but if you're on a surface, you might want to know, the length of everything like that. And it's just like polymer, smooth, texture, like aluminum. Like, it feels solid. It feels great. Like, if I go to bend this, it does not break. It's not a cheap thing. It is built extremely, extremely well. So I do recommend checking this out. Once again, if I get permission to do some things for a project that I did, I'm going to link to that down below. Maybe I'll do a quick review about this and just bring this back up to show you. But really, it's simple. As I don't have the plate or anything on here, so I'm just taking my Sony a6000. It holds a decent amount of weight. I had my D600 on here with my 70-200 lens, mounted the 70-200, mounted the D600 on the back, and it worked easily. No issues, no balancing issues. But just for example, I have my Sony a6000, and I'm just going to mount really quickly right here. So there you go. You're seeing that. I have it a little loose just because I don't feel like scratching the bottom of this, but the proof is in the pudding. And if you want it to stop and do something, a lockdown shot, let's try that right here. This thing is not moving. The link will be down in the description below. And this is a fantastic product, something that I really recommend as I'm getting more into, wanting to get into video and tech side of things. This is something that's under $200 and is amazing quality. And I think their even bigger one is not that much more expensive compared to the size of other things. And it's very affordable as well. So check that out down in the description below. If you're looking to get movement, especially if you want to do maybe astrophotography, time-lapse photography, or just any kind of video work to add movement, this thing right here is a great, great thing.